So you're in a creative block right now. So whether that's an artist block, a writer's block, just a general creative block, we've all been there, and there are plenty of ways to get through it. As any artist or creator can attest, we all go through this many, many times throughout our lives, and there are ways to release ourselves from the shackles of, I'll never create again. Everything I make is horrible. I can't possibly finish this piece. This is going to be the thing that ends me. You know, we've all been through it, and you know what? There's no shame in it. It's natural. Okay, so let's get into getting you out of this creative block that you're in right now. One thing that I know that is very, very likely that's going on is that you are trapped in your perfectionism. And because you're trapped in your perfectionism, you are not allowing yourself to make bad art. And here's the thing, bad art is where we always have to start. Look, I get it. You want to make the best piece of work that you can make. Of course you do. But if you're stuck in that perfectionism, that's just inaction. You're not moving the needle any further. So one way to combat that perfectionism is to allow yourself to make bad art. It doesn't matter if you don't like it, and if it feels like icky and sticky, that's okay. It never has to see the light of day, but that's just for you to get back in your rhythm. And who knows, very often when you are allowing yourself to make that bad art, then you're lighting up that part of your brain that is into exploration and adventure and playfulness, and then that naturally gets you closer to making the art that you really do want to make. Because sometimes we get to really cool ideas while we're doing that, and even if we don't, it's okay. We're at least back in the rhythm of creating again. Another reason you are blocked right now is because you are bullying yourself. So this is absolutely a branch off of perfectionism. But if you are in a state where you're criticizing the art, you're criticizing yourself, how is that motivating? How is that going to motivate you to keep going? You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, using force, using bullying tactics, that might work on you briefly to get yourself to churn out some things, but it's not a sustainable practice over time. Because then it's just this cycle that you're in of just feeling bad about yourself and feeling like what you create is not good enough and that you are not good enough. And that does not good art make. Go back to when you first started making art. Before it was something that you attached to your identity as a thing of like, this is what I do and I must be good at this. Before you had any of that attached to you, you were making art because it was fun, because you thought it was cool, because it was playful, because there was an adventure to it. So as much as you can, you need to bring yourself back to those feelings, the feelings of like, this is fun and this is playful and this is exploration for me, rather than this is a reason why I am shit. We don't want that. The art doesn't want that. And here's the thing too, is if we're making art from a place of feeling badly about ourselves, then it's also not going to resonate as much with people either. Another big reason for your block right now is that you are not connected to a deeper purpose. So here's the thing, when you are in your deepest flow of making art, it's because you are connected to your deeper purpose. And when you are blocked, it's usually because you're at least temporarily disconnected from that deeper purpose and instead are shining that light onto you. And when you're shining that light onto you, that's when things start to get pretty sticky, because you're thinking about like, I'm not doing this well, my art isn't good, and it's a lot of I and my statements. And the thing about art and like being an artist and sharing your art is that like, sure, you are the person making the things and bringing it out into reality, but the deeper purpose there is that you want your art to connect with other people. So when you temporarily forget about that connective element and are just, mostly shining the light on yourself and like the me and I problems, then it's a lot harder to remember why you actually do this in the first place. And when you connect back to that feeling of like, okay, I do this because I want to connect, it makes it a lot easier for you to get back in that rhythm of like, okay, who am I here to serve? What feelings do I want to produce in other people? And then that helps you connect a little more to that process. And another thing I'll add here is that it's not even always about other people. Sometimes the person that you're there to serve is a version of you, but not you in this moment. Like maybe you're creating for a younger version of yourself who really wanted to express themselves in this way. And so in that deeper purpose, you're not so focused on you in that moment, but on like, okay, what would have been really nurturing to my younger self and how can I bring that out? Am I still recording? Let me make sure. Yes, I am. Okay. So some practical things that you can also do to get yourself out of writer's block is to stimulate your senses. So that's changing your environment. It's going outside. It's going into a store and just looking at things. It's trying a new food or dessert. Something that you can do that isn't in your normal everyday life that's going to like stimulate your senses and like wake you up a little bit. Another really effective tool that I found is that if you're currently stuck on a specific art form, switch forms. So if you're primarily a painter, let's say, and you're really struggling on a specific painting, stop the painting for now and try to write a poem. Or maybe you're knitting or crocheting or whatever. The point is, we want to give our brain a mental break from what we're currently stressed about and just switch gears altogether. And it's even better if this is an art form that you don't associate with pressure. Like this isn't something that you like need to be good at, and it's something that maybe is even just new to you, where you're just kind of doing it to explore it, because that's lighting up different parts of your brain, and also that's going to later fuel other, it's going to like create different like inspirational like threads that you will later return to. And then the last thing that I will say is that sometimes we have creative blocks because we're tired. And that's literally all it is. It's not deeper than that. Sometimes literally all we have to do is just sleep or let ourselves rest, and that's going to be the thing that refuels our creative batteries. And then once we do that, we can return to our peace and say, all right, I'm refreshed now. I have new ideas now that I've rested or slept. Let's effing go. All right, so I hope that some of these tips were helpful to get you out of your current creative block. Let me know if you have any go-tos when you are in an artist block. I would love to hear them. Happy creating. I will see you next time.